Welcome back to Saathwic Infotech, friends. We are into our day 4 session, so in which we are going to understand the networking, more deeper networking and IP concepts, right? So yesterday in my session, I was saying that okay, I will be explaining you about like how these IP addresses are getting configured and how this is getting picked up and everything, right? So if you want to understand that, let's first look at our VPC. Okay, if you go into your VPC, yesterday I have mentioned you VPC is the one which is going to provide you the block of IP addresses for that particular virtual private cloud. So what are the IP addresses which can be used in this particular VPC? So if you look at in this particular VPC, the IP address range can be used within this boundary. Okay, let's try to understand this, right? Okay, let me copy this IP address so that I can better explain. Okay, let's go here. So what does it really imply to us, right? So they have given some IP address. We all know that this is an IP address. Okay, and they have given us a CIDR block of 16. So let's try to understand what is this, right? So any IP address, it's of like 32 bytes. Sorry, 32 bits. So basically the IP address will have 32 bits. Okay. So each one will carry 8 bits. So basically how it will be like 8 bits colon 8 bits colon 8 bits colon 8 bits. So if you sum up all these four together, it will be a 32-bit IP address. Okay. So when we say slash 16, it says that that's a mask for this particular IP address. Means that okay, other than this mask, they can use basically out of 32. They can use the remaining 16. Okay, so let us try to understand the number of IP addresses can be used in this particular VPC. Okay, let's go further, right? So if I want to calculate the total number of IP addresses used is nothing but 2 to the power of 32. So basically 2 to the power of 32 will give total number of IP addresses which can be configured in a particular network. Okay, great. So in our case, it's two we are having a mask of 16, which is nothing but mask of 16. So which means that 2 to the power of 32 minus 16. Okay, so this is the value on this is the number of IP addresses can be used in this particular IP range. Okay, so if I want to go there, let me get the calculator, or maybe 2 to the power of 32 or maybe 16. Let's take 16. Yeah, 2 to the power of 16 is nothing but 65536 IP addresses. Okay, 65536 total IP addresses can be used. Okay, in this particular VPC. So basically in this VPC, you can use total of 65,536 host. Maybe you can take it as a server, your network devices or anything, right? Your load balancer, anything you use will take those IP addresses in this particular range or in this particular interval. Okay, there are few more things. Yesterday I was saying, right? IP address calculator, maybe IP address calculator online. Okay, let me take one of this, right? Okay, uh, maybe not this one. This is for moving. Okay, let me take this one. Yeah, okay. So my IP address is this one. Let's double check what we learned so far. We are having subnet of 16 mask. So when I say mask, the first two will be like 255, 255. If you calculate this, you are getting 255. You say you are getting right. See, totally 65,536 hosts can be configured, but number of usable hosts is 534. Okay, we got the same value, right? So 65534. Say they say like okay, only we can use 2 lesser than what we actually got. So what does it mean? Basically the formula goes like this. Okay, minus 2. Why minus 2? You need to be surprised. Why minus 2? Basically this 2 is nothing but the default, which one goes to the network address and other one goes to the broadcast address. Okay, if you want to understand like what is network address and broadcast address, it will be like kind of a detailed session on networking. Okay, which we are not even trying to do it as part of the session, which we are trying to understand like how many hosts are calculated based on this particular IP ranges. By that way, so that in case if maybe this video might be watched by DevOps folks, and also like this video will be helpful for the architects for who is planning to go with, or anybody who wants to understand like the designing part, right? So that's why I thought of explaining this. Okay, now we thought like okay, we got the clarity. Okay, when I give 172.31.0.0 of 16, I can get this many IP addresses in which this many are useful. So if you remember yesterday, we were saying something about subnets. When I was saying about subnet, I said subnets are something like which is going to use subset of this particular total IP address. So let's see what is our subnet CIDR block, right? So if you see, this is a CIDR block for subnet. So what does it mean? Okay, so it says of mask 20. Let's say what is mask 20 in our calculator, or maybe we will try it out on our own, then we will check in our calculator. So 2 to the power of, basically 2 to the power of 32 minus 20 is 12. So 2 to the power of 12 is our overall addresses. So let's go to the calculator, not this one, not this one. Okay, here. Okay, how do I do it? Okay, clear. 2 to the power. How do I put power? Which I really don't know. 12 equals. So basically, overall 4096 host can be configured, in which 2 are reserved. Okay. So means that totally 4094 is usable. Let us check the same in our IPL calculator, which we used a few minutes back in online. Okay. So if you select for 20, you provide this IP address. You will get 4096 is total and 4094 is the usable one, and probably they have given the ranges also, what range you can use. Okay, what are those? Okay, great. So hope you understand what is the CIDR block. Okay, so if you guys really need to understand too much of this, right? So maybe if you want to really understand what might be the range, Kumar, range of IP address, because like if you see in the calculator, they have given some ranges, right? How do I calculate the range? I know the number of hosts can be configured. I know number of hosts which can be used is IP address. How do I calculate the range? In order to do that, you need to know the binary calculations. Okay, so that it will be used, but as part of this particular session, I don't want to make you guys too much of confused. Just try to understand from the CIDR block, you will know like how many hosts can be configured in this particular subnet, so how many hosts can be configured in this particular VPC. So now we know, right, as I mentioned earlier, from this VPC I can use 4096 host, means that 4096 IP address I am using in this particular subnet. So if I want to create another subnet, that will take some part from this. So ensure that there should not be any overlapping with your CIDR blocks, or else you will get the IP conflict. Okay, that's one more thing which I want to say. And there are few reserved IP addresses which you probably know. 0.0.0 is like kind of a global IP address which can be used by anybody, and loopback address, you know, right? 127.0.0.0, I guess, that loopback address of your local host. So those are like kind of a reserved one. You can ensure that those are not getting conflicted with your IP ranges. Okay, so hopefully this is going to be the short video. I thought of like explaining this particular concepts to you. If you want to understand more on this, like just please feel free to comment. I am happy to help you on this too. Okay guys, thanks for watching.